What's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I got a good one for y'all today. I got my man Mac Mean in the building. All stories ain't true, but this one is. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bruh.
Boy, Mac Mean, true story, all stories ain't true. We about to tell a real true one right now.
That's what's up. All right, no further ado. Briefly speak about what crime led you to the Department of Corrections via Rikers Island.
Well, my first time that I went to Rikers Island was when I was 16. I just turned 16, and it was for robbery. No, excuse me. My first time ever going to Rikers Island was for drugs. I got locked up selling heroin, and then I came out. Then I got locked back up for a robbery. Came out. They threw that case away. Then I came back the third time for robbery again. So the third time when I was in Rikers Island, I did time. That's when I caught a bid. So I basically did a 2 to 6 off that robbery. Came home for about 18 days. Then I caught another robbery. Was on Rikers Island, and then they gave me 8 to 16. So with the time I had for my first bid left, I blew trial. I went to trial on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I was facing I was facing 12 and a half to 25. They gave me 8 to 16. And because I didn't do much time on parole for my first bid, they took what was left, which was like almost 4 years, and put it on the back of my new bid. So I ended up 820.
Okay. And what years was you at Rikers Island?
91 to 95.
That's the perfect timeline when I'm about to ask you this question. I got to ask you this question. I ask everybody this question about Rikers Island that comes on this page. At the time you was at Rikers Island, which group of people were being oppressed?
I didn't mean to laugh at that question, bro. That's the hot topic, right?
Yes, sir.
You know what? Let me just do this, right? Let me do this like this. Okay. 91, you talking about?
Yes.
Wasn't nobody being oppressed. Not in 91. In 91, I was in adolescence. Adolescence kind of later on, I heard that the adolescents got more like grouped out or whatever. But back in 91, it was about strength. It wasn't, the Latin Kings was around at that time. But the Latin Kings always been kind of low key. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't really know who was Latin Kings. You seen a group of dudes chilling together. It wasn't as loud as it became. So 91, let's say if you was a Latin King and I'm just a Muslim and this dude's 5%, that might be the crew right there. You feel me? And we the strong ones. So it was based on your strength. If there was oppression, I didn't really see it in the full building in 91, 92. Of course, I seen situations where there was some black dudes kind of ran shit when I was there in the beginning. This is the end of the guard body period. You know what I mean? Guards was running shit. You know what I'm saying? The time when they was talking about the guards was oppressing the kings, and then
right.
You know what I'm saying? That back forth shit. This is in my opinion, right? I didn't really see it when we was adolescents, but when I turned adult, there was a lot of shit that I seen that could make somebody feel like, you know what I'm saying, like they people was being oppressed. Now, when you say black people was being oppressed, that's false. I wasn't being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Not by a group of Spanish dudes. And again, it's based off of who you are and what you're willing to do to not be oppressed. But in general, did I go up in a house and see 30 Spanish dudes, you know what I'm saying, making, you know what I mean, dudes do something? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. I seen niggas, you know what I'm saying, put it down. But this is the catalog. This is how the catalog starts, right? Spanish dudes in New York, I'm gonna tell you like this. When a Spanish dude could be a dope thing, I mean like addicted to drugs, looking nasty, looking crazy, right? He'll come in and Spanish dude's gonna make sure he eating and everything. Now, anybody that tell you this, like that's from New York, that this ain't the case, they're a fucking liar. That's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we even complained about that while we was in jail. Like you see how Poppy just came up in here. He all right, you know what I'm saying? But let Daryl come up in here looking crazy or whatever. You know what we gonna do? Snap on him, try to take his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel me?
Bro, Nate Dogg said the same exact thing you just said, bro.
It's the truth.
He just said the same exact thing you just said, man. And let me ask you this. Okay. So when you first went to Rikers Island 91, there was no Bloods.
91, there was no Bloods.
Okay, it was no blood.
91, there was like guard bodies. There's like got a lot of guard bodies.
Okay.
92, there was no blood. 93, that's when I think it started in 93. But it wasn't, you didn't really see it till about 94. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
and
seen it in 94. 93, you didn't have too many people running around saying it was blood. And if you
okay.
did, that was dangerous time. That's why a lot of these cats that been blood, the first generation dudes, that's why they get so much respect. Because at that time, saying that you was blood, you was asking to get killed.
Okay.
This
Bye.
time I went to court and I was like, yo, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It was like that. Yeah. But it wasn't, I told people this before, I didn't really see the Kings that with that. You know what I mean? I seen the Kings wild on each other more than I seen them wild on somebody else. The Nyetas though, because they was a bunch of them. If you had 100 Nyetas, there was probably 3 Kings.
Okay, got you.
Hated Nyetas. You know what I'm saying? It was the Nyetas. They was wilding out. And they can't say that it's a Spanish gang solely because Nyetas let black people in. My boy Dog was a Nyeta.
Okay. And check this out. So when you first got to Rikers Island, was you with the shits already, or did the shits come while you was at Rikers Island? Like, did you get there violent, or did you turn violent once you was there?
Both.
Okay, both. Okay.
The reason why I say that, the reason why I say both is because I already had mental issues when I was out on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say mental issues. I didn't classify it like that back in the days, but there's certain things, right, that you do due to circumstances, right? Like
Right.
you want to eat, and then there's certain things that you do where you end up going overboard. You know what I mean? Like, say for instance, you're supposed to rob somebody, and next thing you know what I mean? Like he got an injury. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. So I'm gonna say that was like I had probably emotional problems or something. I don't know what was going on with me when I was young, or maybe just being from the Bronx and everybody was robbing niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe that was it. But when I got to the island, I wasn't violent. I was scared to death when I got to the island. You crazy? You hear the stories, nigga? I thought, and I was skinny and light skinned. Oh no, they're gonna fucking put cuts all over me. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's victim turned victimizer. Niggas try to play me when I got there, right? Like I had to figure out the pro. This is from C-74. So
how do they try to play you?
Oh, you know, you be sleeping and you wake up in the morning. Then you know what I'm saying, you wear size 8 and sneakers. You got some brand new sneakers. You fell asleep. You wake up with a size 13 under your bed, some ugly ass. You know what I'm saying, Hakeem Olajuwon joint, your joint. You know what I mean? That, you feel me? Like, like back in the days, that's like, oh man, I can't, yo, bro. If I told you some of the shit niggas was doing in Rikers and the C-74, certain things in C-74 and adolescence was completely normal and cool. You know what I'm saying? But you take that shit to folks, and them niggas be ready to kill you. So I came from adolescence. You know what I mean? With like you know, we was playing razor tag. You know, cut people and shit like that.
And that's what and speaking of razor tag, that's what I meant to ask you about when you got to Rikers Island. When did the transition happen for you from the fist to the razors, or did you go straight to the razors? Like when you was fighting, when did you say, you know what, fuck this fighting shit, man, I need to get me a razor?
I'm keeping 100, right? I didn't even have a fight yet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have a fight yet. The first time I picked up a razor to try to cut somebody, and anybody that hear this, I don't want you to think in no kind of way that this is some shit that I glorify, because this is things that as a real man, and I guess once a person evolve and start reaching like manhood, you start looking at things that you did a little bit different, and you feel sorry for the old you, and you feel sorry for who got in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that sometimes a person can be so scared, right? I think like a lot of the name brand dudes that you hear about, man, they some scared motherfuckers. They scared. These niggas that like they got reputations. Like I had a reputation at some point, you know what I'm saying? Like for a bad reputation, right? But for me, it was never, I only had one fight before I cut somebody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was one fight that I had. I was fighting this dude over, I was with Dizzy this time too. Dizzy's one of the big bloods that they be talking about, right? This nigga, these niggas amped this dude. Okay, I was about to go to trial and I needed to get a motion done. So I paid this dude to do the motion, you know what I'm saying? And he basically played me on the motion. He basically got like some cookie cutter motion, you know what I mean? Typed up my name and shit and joined and gave it back to me for like 6 packs of cigarettes. So we got to a fight and shit like that. That nigga beat me up too, man. I ain't gonna lie. That nigga, you know what I'm saying? That nigga beat me up. And we outnumbered them. I purposely told my man, nah, don't jump him. I got this. That nigga worked me out. Motherfucker worked me out, me. You know what I'm saying? We oh man, damn, we fucked his cell up in North Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like basically broke his cell so he can't open it. And then this is the thing that we used to do in HDM. I bought this from HDM. HDM, we used to have this little day room, and we used to have ping pong tables in it. You know what I'm saying? Playing ping pong all day. So we used to take the ping pong balls. Somebody showed me how to do this. You take the Newport pack and you fold you take the inside out, the aluminum, you make it into like a little pouch. You break the ping pong ball up because it got some sort of chemicals in it. You chip into like ping pong chips, put it inside the joint, roll it up, poke a little hole in it, light it up from the bottom, and throw it in the cell, and it's a smoke bomb.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I did. Then boom, you know what I'm saying? And then we had to break his door open because I thought he was about to die in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But that right there, that was the one fight I had. And then the first time I caught a slashing.
Yeah. Speak on it. We want to hear that. Real.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I cut a nigga for nothing, man.
For real? So, okay, let me talk about that. So that's what I was going to ask you. People speak about Rikers Island. They like, I asked them, I say, how did trouble find you? They be like, well, so-and-so had took my shoes. So-and-so had disrespected me. I say that to say this, because you just said it. Did you ever just start catching wreck for no reason? That's what I wanted to ask you. Did you ever wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to catch wreck on this dude for no reason?
I told this story on my channel. I don't know if I told every part of it because when you revisit certain things, especially when they long time ago, you start seeing more and more. A lot of this shit I stopped thinking about after I beat the case. I never thought about, I don't know how other people think, but I never like thought about victims and shit like that. I had to get around conscious people in order to even entertain certain thoughts, right?
Okay.
This one day, I went to court, right? And I knew in my mind that day somebody was gonna get wet, right? And I bought 2 razors to court just in case. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was a kid. I didn't just randomly cut anybody. I didn't just say, you know what I mean? Like it was a particular dude, and I had seen him. Now I didn't have to cut him, but I did. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. I cut him. I you know what I mean? Like there was this lady named Captain Hayes, right? They talk about Depp Bailey, or as I know him, Captain Bailey, because when I was around Bailey, he was a captain. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
His partner name was Captain Hayes. You know what I'm saying? And that I haven't seen Captain Hayes because I got kicked out of HDM before another cut. As a matter of fact, in '94. So this is '95, right before I blew trial. And Captain Hayes, she wasn't the most prettiest lady in the world, but she was like, she was just a good person, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, we like when we seen Captain Hayes, you know, the house straightened up, you know what I'm saying? We showed her love. She wasn't on nothing, and she always looked out for us. And that day when that happened, I had caught a new charge. You know what I'm saying? Now I didn't know about that. This is before like the new charges was mandatory.
Okay.
You didn't always get 9 out of 10 times. If you cut somebody, you just went to the bing, you didn't get a new charge with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But they gave me a new charge that day. And right after they fingerprinted me and shit and took me down to the pen, I was about to cut somebody else because they found that I cut, it was a Yet kid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they found out, so I'm just remembering this right now. They looked like they were scheming and shit. I was kind of hoping that I seen the captain so they could get me out that cell with with all these.
Damn right.
and it was Captain Hayes, and she came. I was like in the bathroom trying to like when I heard the brass coming, I was trying to hide my ox or whatever, so I didn't see exactly who it was. And they was like, they called me by my last name, said my last name, and I poked my head, and then I seen Captain Hayes, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she know me as being a Muslim, you know what I'm saying? Like trying, you know, like you put on the front when they come around, but she's the one that delivered my ticket. You know what I mean? So like after you get charged and all that, then they'll give you like a jail ticket and
okay,
infraction or some shit, and they'll tell you what happened on the infraction or whatever. So I went up north for that case, and then while I was in downstate, they called me for the case. They dismissed the case. The dude went home.
Gotcha. Okay.
That happened in '95. I know the exact day when that happened too.
Walk the viewers through it, Mac. Mean a little bit. Like, where'd you catch him at? The Nieta? Was he on the bus, the bullpen? Where'd you hit him up at?
I caught a new charge on the bus too. Matter of fact, damn, you bugging. And it didn't have nothing to do with me. It was my man Tyson. Everybody know Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Tyson decided there was a dude that cracked him. It was a gangbanger. I ain't gonna say what it was, right? That cracked while he was in the bang. He was in 3 block. This is when this kid named VI. VI was a Spanish Latin King kid that was just giving black niggas problems. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He came from 3 block or whatever, and while he was at the law library, he said that somebody cracked him over the head with a typewriter, and then we was on the bus. He Muslim. Tyson was Muslim, so I'm handcuffed to this dude Bush. You know what I'm saying? And then Tyson just went to work on the bus, and they charged all of us that was in the back of the bus. So like 5 of us got charged with that shit, even though we didn't have shit to do with it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that day, what was the question again?
I said that. I said first I started off saying the viewers want to know, be more descriptive. Where did you catch the Nieta at? Was it on the bus, the chow hall, the bullpen? Where'd you slash him at? What part of the jail?
It was in the pens. It was in the bullpen.
Okay, and I figured that.
It was in the bullpen. I'm just let you know something. When they talk about most of the shit that popped off that they talk about happened going to court.
And that's what I'm saying, Mac. How are y'all able to get weapons on the bus going to court?
Niggas be boofing them shits. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They boofing.
Yep.
They put the razor in their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I know dudes that used to get away mad different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I used to have electrical tapes. I ain't never had to I didn't have to boof shit. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, you start to get the when I was on trial, I was going to court damn near every day for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? But the more court dates that you get, the more you get used to the program. You know how to finesse it. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how to get it. The problem too was this. I seen a lot of niggas get caught like this. Like we be going to court, and they have okay. Some dudes would try to get on the bus first so they could get to the back of the bus. You know what I mean? So nobody ain't sitting behind them. Problem with that is that when you're getting off the bus, you last to get the cuffs off your hands. You know what I'm saying? The dudes would get out first, you know what I mean? Back out their ox. I seen Wemo cut this kid named Red right in front of the boys, and they didn't even get his cuffs off.
Damn.
Wemo was like the odd man, and they put the cuffs on he had his own cuffs. So instead of being cuffed to somebody and on the
Right.
chain gang, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll take
Got
you
it.
off the bus and then put you on the chain gang, bring you up the stairs, let you into a cell, and then they would call everybody, you know, that was going to different floors, and then you'll get on that chain gang and go to your floor. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, it was like a lot of cases was on like on the fifth floor on Bronx Supreme. So I was in the court. That back when I caught that charge, I was in the bullpens. I was in the bullpens on going for my sentencing. So the
Okay.
day I got sentenced is the day I caught my new charge. I blew trial October 23rd. I got sentenced on November 15th on my sister's birthday.
Mm. And viewers.
Yeah, so I got the time. Now I got a new charge. I got to come back down to face, you know what I'm saying, and fight that too.
Okay. And viewers, I want y'all to listen to this question I'm about to ask them real quick, because I'm really curious about where do the kids in New York learn this stuff at? You was on lockdown 23-1 with death. You spit the razor out your mouth. Where did you learn that? When you got to jail, did somebody say, hey man, come to cell so-and-so, let me show you the razor trick? How did you learn the razor in the mouth trick?
Oh, this girl named Jamila taught me when I was little.
Damn.
You know
okay.
Why? Girls in my school used to cut bitches in their face. Excuse my language, cut women in their face.
Oh.
So they used to cut them, and there was a girl named Jamila. You know what's so weird about that? Jamila taught me that when we was 13 years old, I think. And years later, while I was up north, I used to do a lot of writing. I started writing a novel, and the name of the book was called Jamila's Dance. You know what I'm saying? That's how I learned from a girl named Jamila. And so,
okay. And it's amazing to me, man.
You know I'm out in jail though. I'm just keeping 100.
Okay.
It's maybe back in the days, but you know what I mean? So many niggas got punched in their mouth with oxys in their mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So you don't really see nobody doing that. That's cosmetic shit. That's just like something that back in the days they used to do that. Like I could really spit it out my mouth. Like I could spit it and catch it in my hand and it won't cut me.
That's a fact. You can.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like I you know, like while I was on Rikers Island, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't take my razor and hide it in my mouth. The police know they're going right for your mouth, and the ops is going for your mouth. They're gonna punch you in the face or hit you with something they know you got a razor in your mouth. And there's mass you find, you know, dudes got their stories about how that happened to catch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. It's amazing to me, man, because when you went to prison, when you went to Rikers Island and stuff, 91, 94, 95, during that time, that was the beginning of the gang epidemic. That was like when the Bloods was coming out and stuff. And you from the Bronx, you've been at Rikers Island, you've been around all these different gang members. You even know some of them, you friends with some of these gang members. They from your hood. How was you able to avoid being in the gang? You can't hear me? It went out. Hold on.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. What you went to Rikers Island during the gang epidemic, like 91, 94, 95. That's when the beginning of the Bloods was starting. It was gang infested, the gang epidemic. You from the Bronx, it's gangs there. A lot of your homeboys was in gangs. You got homeboys that's Bloods.
Easy. I seen it start. It was.
How was you able to avoid being in the gangs? How was you able to avoid being Blood?
Okay, first dude that asked me to be okay, let me just put it this way. I think SI was probably the first one to ask me to get down. Back then, you know what I'm saying? Like Bloods wasn't recruiting dudes like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If you was a hitter, it was like you was almost like guaranteed to be, and you was black. But I know a lot of dudes that was straight up hitters that never got down with the gang. You know what I'm saying? And how I avoided it. First and foremost, I'm Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And we always had a saying that you can't worship two gods, especially being in prison. You know, if I'm Muslim, I took my Shahada, you know what I'm saying, in 92. You know what I'm saying? So I was already well established in the Ummah or the community with the Muslims. So to me, I think that to be honest, I always felt like back then, it was like niggas is gonna think I'm following other niggas. I just had that kind of mind state about it. Because I don't even think that being a Muslim even if I really wanted to get down, I would just got down. You know what I'm saying? And still been Muslim. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like that people would say, or niggas would say that, you know what I'm saying, I just wanted to be down. I don't know. I there was no particular reason. I seen it as infancy, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't as big as how it is today. At that time, it was like something elite. You know what I mean? Like you didn't see a bunch of Bloods. When you did see a Blood, nigga, it was danger. But before the Bloods, but how the Bloods, like the Jamaican niggas is the ones I was hearing about. When I first got to the island, like they was like I'm talking about when I first got to HDM as an adult. Only thing you heard in that building was VI and Scully. You know what I'm saying? VI,
yes,
and Scully, Michael Jordan. That's really they either Michael Jordan or that shit. Michael.
Oh, and okay, because I did an interview with somebody. They said Scully's grandmother is the one that got hit on the dance floor. She got cut on the dance floor. I did an interview with it's posted. So if you guys go back and watch that video, Scully's in the title. But let me get into this next question.
Let me say one last thing in terms of Scully.
All right, go ahead.
It was Scully. It was this kid. They say Shower back in the days. I wasn't there with him, but I'm telling you who was there when I was there. Scully, Midget, this kid named Lizard, Rotty, Dangerous, the young boys, Kurt, Junglers, Germ, and then it was a kid named Oliver. He came later. How we found out about Oliver, he cut a Muslim brother. He cut like one of the big brothers too, Greene. Caught him lacking inside the pen and ate Greene food. Sent him back.
Damn.
This when I was in 2-Block. Sent him back to 2-Block with the artwork on him. You know what I'm saying? So Oliver was like they thought Oliver was Puerto Rican because he was so light skinned. Okay. So that's why he was sleeping on him, and then he wet him because in that block, before I got there, they had ran out this kid Rotty. You know what I'm saying? And they you know what I mean? They must have hit him up real bad, and he was talking about it. So Kareem might have been one of the ones that was there, and he caught him lacking, and Oliver ate his food. That, you know what? The same time is when Tyson had caught, you know what I'm saying, dude on the bus.
Okay.
We all was in 2-Block, you know what I'm saying? And
this shit was a war zone, man. Damn. This is well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You didn't go to the Bloods, you didn't join the gang, you was Muslim. But say for this instance, say the Latin Kings, which is Spanish, went against the Bloods, which is Black. So basically it's Bloods and Latin Kings, but it's still Spanish against Black. And you was in the area. Would you have to participate with the Bloods being that you Black? What role would you play? If you, are you allowed to just sit there and watch it?
Yeah, I'll get my popcorn and watch these niggas get sent up out of it, so I can get some niggas I fuck with in my block.
Got you.
Like that, you understand that I never really seen like Latin Kings and then Bloods strap up and then I don't get it twisted. I've seen it a few times. You know what I mean? It happened around me a few times. You know what I'm saying? Where it was on and popping. Like one time, you know what I mean? Like it just ain't have nothing to do with gangs or nothing. It was just Spanish against Black. You feel me? And it happened because of my boy, the same dude that I told you, Wemo cut, Red. He was a Muslim brother. He caught one of the niggas, you know what I'm saying, that was, you know what I'm saying, he caught somebody. And then that the Spanish dudes, you know what I mean, to have a problem. And it was a little riot up there in 5 North and North Facility. And they shut that shit down. You know what I'm saying? They shut it down. This is right before I went to trial. You know what I mean?
Okay. What would make somebody get what would make somebody become a predicate cutter? What did they have that when you was there?
More than 2 cuttings that you got cut. Yo, you know what though? A lot of those predicate niggas was soft.
That's what I heard, bro. That's why I asked you that. People, go ahead.
Predicate shit don't mean nothing. There's niggas that's predicate running around population for years. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. That's what I heard.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know what? Back in the days, we used to have a term called herb destroyer in the Bronx. Like we used to go and catch herbs when we was younger, like robbing people and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And niggas that got like that habit of cutting dudes back then, that wasn't no danger and shit like that. They end up being like called herb destroyers. And then, you know, some niggas had so much beef, they just couldn't come out the Bing. So yeah, you're a predicate, but you know what I mean? Niggas got you on the menu. Most of them niggas that's predicate that put that work in, you gotta think you marinating in the Bing for 2 years and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you cut somebody 2 years ago. This nigga go up north. Now he's situated at his jail, and then you come up there. And that's how a lot of niggas that was with the shit on the island, because you know, you just get there and you with the shit. Something, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna let niggas play you. So you gotta be selective in what you do and how you do your bid, because you go up north, even as a predicate, you gotta think. You know what I'm saying? You're not going, there ain't no Bing. The only way you're gonna go straight to the box is if you owe time from your old bid and some shit like that, or you feel me, or you pop off in downstate. But for the most part, those dudes, those that was weak before, be somewhere else real strong, and they waiting on your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Grab you.
Everything you saying in this interview, bro, is official, because this is the same stuff I've heard in other interviews. It's verbatim. I appreciate that, man. So check this out. I keep on hearing that people get bailed out the box. They can bail people out the box. Was they doing that when you were there?
I bailed myself out the box before.
Nah, speak on it.
Yo, oh man. Captain Bailey's the one that let me bail out. I remember one time they took me to the Bing, had me in the Bing. They had me. This was 5 block Bing was open, right? Oh yeah, 5 block Bing. It was 1A, 1B, 3 block, and then 5 block. And they had put me in 5 block, right? I'm about to get my cell and everything. Niggas was burning fire or something like that. Captain Bailey came in and he let me bail out already before I went to the Bing. You know what I'm saying? I think I gave him a razor, some shit, or a handcuff key, something. Because I had and they ignored that shit. You know what I'm saying? They came and packed me up. This is when I first got my red ID. They sending me to the fucking Bing. I'm like, everybody like, yo, I thought you blessed Captain Bailey. I did. I'm just not, you know what I mean? They've been putting this shit off for weeks. So they had me, something happened, alarm popped off. He was up in there, you know what I'm saying? And he took me right back out. And I was in 2 block. That's when I went to 4 block. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You just mentioned a red ID. What made you get a red ID?
You know what's so crazy, bro? I think I was probably one of the first ones in the HDM with a red ID, because in population, I don't know what was going on in Bing yet, but in population, because we didn't know about, I thought that having a red ID was cool because it was a different color. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me a fucking red ID. The very first time I got a red ID was for a fucking razor that I didn't even get caught with, because I didn't want to get a razor up. What they used to do, if you go into court, sometimes you get the wrong ox. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the instead of getting the flimsy, you know what I mean? Like getting a Gem Star, we was getting those off-brand joints, and they had the metal, the top of it was ringing. You know what I'm saying? Even when you duct tape it and all that, the shit was still ringing. So I didn't give up the ox while I was in court. They kept me in the cell all day. What they do is make you, they thinking that I boofed it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they put you in the cell where they put you in the cell with a toilet bowl that ain't got no water in it. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So whatever you leaving, they don't let nobody in the cell with you. They'll make you stay in the cell all fucking day. I don't even want to tell you how I hit that ox, but I didn't get caught with it, but they still gave me the ticket. And I think that's when the IDs, the red ID wasn't nothing different with the red ID. It wasn't like the red ID was something new. The color was new. But before then, whatever color, you have an option of getting 2 cards when you go on the island.
Okay.
The orange card, and that means that when you go to eat your child, you getting regular food. So they might throw pork chops on your shit. You know what I'm saying? Back then we had pork. You know what I'm saying? They might throw some swine on your joints, and then they got certain trays. But when you get a blue ID, it's like a halal ID. So that means that you don't eat pork. Only thing they did back then was they would take your card and they would stamp a W on it. And that was a red ID. It stood for weapon.
Oh, okay. How about the guards and stuff, man? Did the guards favor their race? Like, was the Spanish guards looking out for the Spanish? Was the black guards looking out for the blacks?
Hell yeah. You know,
Okay.
I had a Muslim guard that used to go and beat the shit out of niggas in the bang for us. You know what I'm saying? Like pull a nigga out the cell and all that, wash him up, bring him to Muslim service. Like, nah, well, you taking me Muslim, so I thought I'm going on a visit, nah, and just leave you. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so the guards do be on some shit. You gotta think like the shit is so well evolved that some cops is Latin King, some cops is, you know what I'm saying, old school yetas. You know what I mean? Some dudes.
Okay.
Some dudes is 5%. You know what I mean? And they do it, but it's not all of them. It's specific officers. It ain't like there's 10 Spanish officers and then they see black dudes and they doing them dirty. Now it might be 1 or 2 in there that they got in the pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Got you.
But it's not like a widespread thing. It's not like that.
Oh.
Jails be more. Rikers Island, because the questions that people ask based off of the notoriety of it, that's why we get those stories. But there's mad fun shit that we did. You know what I'm saying? That had nothing to do with drama or violence or violating people. None.
So it was some good times.
Mad good times, man, where everything is cool. Everything is chill. Even if shit, you know, like it's jail, so things is gonna happen. But for the most part, like we used to, like in HDM, we used to get festivals. You know what I'm saying? We used to have fried chicken. I remember Ace and Ron Dude. This is dudes that's from that story Paid in Full. The ones that supposedly shot AZ. They used to work in the KK. The KK is like the officer's kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And like every morning, these niggas would be bringing cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? Like turkey ham, cheese, eggs and cheese. You know, hash browns and shit like that. Like I said, if we went 3 weeks or 4 weeks without getting cuttings and stabbings and shit in our block, then Captain Bailey was letting us have festivals. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's what's up. Yeah.
Getting pussy on in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
We have Muslim festivals. You know what I'm saying? We'll cook our own food. We'll you know, during our edge. It was, I don't know, man. We had it was a lot of peaceful times. And then the chill times, like when it, you know, the weed and everything is in the block. Ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like you got the rip, like most of the blocks that had thorough dudes in it didn't have a lot of violence in the block. It's more chilling than anything. When you get about 10 name brand motherfuckers in the same house, everything is flowing, everything's cool. That's the spot you want to be at. No.
Okay, what year and where was you at when you turned Muslim?
92, C74.
And how did that come about? Did an old head say, "Hey, young man, come here, let me talk to you. You need to listen to some of this knowledge." To walk us through that day.
To be honest, I just wanted to get out the block, right? So I started going to church. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, like, when you see your people like in a hallway, you know, you have to think, like, if you like really in the street like that, when you go to jail, it's like a reunion. You see everybody. You know what I'm saying? All the niggas that you ain't see, like, well, yo, this way he was at, sitting up in here, chilling, right? And now, yo, come to the church. Yo, come see me in the church. Because you couldn't do fuckery in the mosque. You couldn't meet somebody in the mosque and do weed sales and all type of shit. And a lot of the homosexual dudes used to be up in church too. That's their congregation spot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And when I first went to church, the first time when I went to church while I was in jail, I kind of almost got disgusted. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, damn, this is supposed to be the spot where you could, you know what I mean? Like get some peace. You know what I'm saying? And it was, I just see too much shit in there that I didn't like. That really had nothing to do with God or the church, but it was just like, that's how we, you know, like determine what type of faith we like. We don't develop a relationship with God. We watch what the fuck is going on in church and say, that's the reason I'm not gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. I looked at what was going on in there and I said, fuck church. You know what I'm saying? Even to meet my niggas, I meet you in the yard or you know, but my sister's boyfriend, his name was Jalil. This is her ex-boyfriend. I had seen him. He was a 5% at that time. They used to call him, I forgot, his name is Julian. They used to call him Jalil. And I didn't know the difference. I thought he was Muslim. The nigga was 5%. You know what I'm saying? But he told me come to the mosque. And that was the first time I ever went to the mosque. But when I went there to go kick it with him, he wasn't even kicking it with me. He was just like listening to the sermon. So that forced me to listen. You know what I'm saying? And
Got you.
Yeah. It was one thing that dude said. He was talking an example of like a dude that was a murderer. And the dude was like going to people and asking them, who gonna forgive me for this? And then they was telling them, nobody gonna forgive you, man. You killed 100 people, some shit like that.
Right.
And he was like, yo, so he met one dude, and dude told him to go to the east, like just travel towards the east. He didn't kill him. While he was traveling over there, in the middle of him going, he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like boom. This is a parable. And he
Right.
said angels came. The angel of death came to get him, you know what I'm saying? Like to take his ass to hell. You know what I mean? And then the angel that was going to take him to paradise, they was like almost like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? We gotta, like, you know what I mean? We got like a standstill here. And they was like, okay, well, let's measure how far he was, because he was going towards something to be forgiven or whatever. He made it to paradise by a handspan. It was something like that. I'm paraphrasing what I heard.
Right.
That stuck out so hard to me. Yo, that was crazy. It stuck out crazy to me because up until that point, I always held a lot of guilt for the things that I was doing out in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's yep.
I felt like I just gonna keep on going. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I didn't have no direction. I didn't think about a future, the past. I only thought about what was in front of me at that point. So that's when I started getting woke. The next week, I took my shahada and became Muslim. I didn't know nothing about Islam. I didn't know about Muslims. I didn't know about the politics and shit. I didn't know about none of that. Only thing I did was listen to the imam and what he said. This would force me to take my shahada. The next week when I went, he said that when you become Muslim, that Allah, God forgives you for everything you ever did. And you got a brand new slate from that point. Sign me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. And listen, let me ask you this, Mac Mean. It seems like the Muslims and the God body, they're not a gang. It's like you guys are more of like a brotherhood of learning and stuff and knowledge and literature. With that being said, how did the Muslims and the God bodies get along together? Did you guys congregate and hang out? Like,
yo, let me tell you, let me be real with you, man. I'm gonna just tell you things that because I hear people's explanations of certain things. Well, nah, we wasn't friends like that. I'm gonna keep it 100. Now you have a lot of God bodies that became Muslim. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see dudes that was Muslim that become God body. You want to know why? Because what in Islam, when you accept Islam, the number one sin that you commit, that you could ever commit, is associating partners with God. You know what I'm saying? So you get that?
yes.
I mean, you like they didn't say murder, they didn't say kidnapping, they didn't say drug, they didn't say none of that. It said associate, and it's called shirk in Arabic. And you have different forms of that. You got something that you call shirk al ashkar, shirk al munkar, and shirk al akbar. Shirk al akbar is directly associating partners with God. You know what I'm saying? Then you have minor shirk, and then you have inconspicuous shirk. So it's like if you're supposed to be praying, but you're not praying because you smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? That's like worship. That's a sort of association of partners with God. So for Muslims, you rarely find a Muslim that transitions or passes being Muslim and becomes a 5%er. But a lot of God bodies end up becoming 5%er and still carry on some of the lessons. You know what I'm saying? So just to answer your question, we in general, we cool. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of Muslims, like hardcore Muslims, that ain't with it. They don't even fuck with gods because they're not gonna greet you as a peace God, peace Lord, or any. They're not gonna say they'll rather fight you or hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Than the same nigga that give you his shirt off his back, scared to death to associate a partner with God. You know what I'm saying? And I am too. I ain't gonna lie. But we, there's times where we got together, you know what I mean, based off of numbers. But for the most part, God body's business is God body's business. Muslim business is Muslim business. And they even as far as like Shiite business is Shiite business. Sunni business is Sunni business. Nation of Islam is Nation of Islam business. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It depends on where you at. But Muslims, low key, be biased towards niggas that say that there's somebody else. Not Christians, you know what I'm saying? Not against Christians because they do believe in a God. You know what I'm saying? They don't associate, they call them whatever they call them, but they're not saying that you know, their guard or whatever, you know.
Okay, got you. I'm gonna go upstate though. We're gonna transfer this. We're gonna go upstate. I'm not going full upstate because I want to save most of upstate for part 2. Can't give them all the jewels in part 1. Mac means the man. Got to save one for part 2. But let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
You're upstate now. What was the biggest difference between Rikers Island and upstate?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something. It's bad. I'm smiling about this, but I did my first bid when I went upstate for my when I was did my 2 to 6. Right. I remember when I had went to Greene.
Oh man, I heard a lot about that place, bro.
Oh man, when I got there, Muslims, it was a problem. We was having wars too. We had 2 wars in Greene when I was there.
Okay.
That year in 93, or excuse me, 93, La Familia's, that's when you last heard about La Familia. And it was because the war that happened in Greene. At that time, like in Greene, you was able to go from both sides. You could travel back and forth. We used to sneak over. Greene has 2 different sides. You know what I'm saying? So on one side, you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Seven
Right.
dorms. But on that side is where like commissary and the mess hall and all that shit is at school. And then on the other side, you got H, I, J, K, L, M, and N.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's N block too. I was in M block and I was in K and H on that side. On the other, on I was in C block, G block, H block, K block, K1, and M block. You know what I'm saying? And when I first got there, bro, I ain't gonna lie. After being on Rikers Island, eating bullshit food, and you know what I mean, like you get up in the dorm. There was like 10, 12 Muslim niggas. They was running shit. My boy J-Po, I just got in contact with him recently. J-Po was running that shit in the house. Muslim basically, when I got to Greene, even though there was a lot of violence there, it was one of those situations where I landed in a cool house. And then plus, there was mad dudes that grew up with me in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like a reunion. You know what I mean? I got there. Dudes gave me some food. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a big bowl, you know what I mean, with rice and some octopus. First time I ever taste octopus in my life.
Damn. Jail. Damn, that's crazy. Octopus.
Niggas is up in the day room with their chairs all pillowed up, do-ragged up, robes on, feet up. Niggas is washing clothes. You know, dudes are standing out. Back then, they used to crack the doors and we used to be able to sit in front of the dorm. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah. Yo, it was like, yo, this was almost unbelievable that, you know what I mean? But Rikers Island is a jail. It's like the county. It's where you go when you being detained. It's not designed for long term. You know what I'm saying? So like, you might have some beef sticks, some cookies. You know what I'm saying? You might get some sandwich meat or something. Nah, these niggas up north is, you see motherfucker with the, yo, listen, let me tell you something. Motherfucker got a bucket, right? Well, one of these buckets right here, the same exact bucket, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you got a stinger. I ain't talking about the stinger that you buy. I'm talking about like you take a plug, you know what I'm saying, and then rip the end off. You feel me? And then leave the wire exposed. Put the water in there. Plug in. Put in here. It's boiling the water. Then they take the rice and all that. Put in the bag. Throw it up in there. I seen niggas cook meals like that. I'm like, it was amazing to me. Everything was amazing to me. When I went to the store and I seen how much shit you could get, then people could send you shit. Like the excitement was this. I'm about to do time, and damn, I got to do it eating like the way I eat. You know, chow was over at 5 o'clock. After the mess hall closed, it's quiet. You know what I'm saying? But up north, the number one thing I recognize or I remember was the food, like eating, and then, you know what I mean, more like weights and shit like that.
Okay.
It was just, I don't know, man. It was just like, I invited it. I was cool with it. I was like it's a breath of fresh air. It's like coming out the box and then going to population anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know. Okay, and you said it was wars there. Can you speak on the wars that the Muslims had there?
Muslims had we had a couple of wars in that shit. The thing with the wars in Greene is that let's just put it this way. Let's not say war. Let's just say um long, fights. You know what I mean? Long
Right.
fights. And I can't say the thing with La Familia was a war because once it was on, they just got sent up out of there. It was just like that. They did something. They did. I don't remember exactly. I could remember. I'll think back. But there was beef, and the problem. What happened with them? It was like almost inevitable that was going to happen. One of the dudes that ran it. You know what I'm saying? He was his brother or cousin. It was a family member. This is a family member.
Right.
And he was like the head of security, you know what I'm saying? And it was already on, like, you know what I mean? It was just doing too much. And it was time, you know what I'm saying? They had cut the wrong dude.
Mm.
It was about to go down, but the second in charge with the Muslims, that was like his family member, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leading, like telling him, like, you know what I mean? Like basically, like, you don't know, like, we don't announce everybody that's Muslim. You got to think, if you did the math in your head and you think that it's just us 30 that you see, then you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that conversation because I snuck it. I was still young. I was only like 17 years old. But I paid attention to that conversation because it was like, you know, like I said, everybody didn't participate in fights unless it just happened around you.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you this shit without like giving like going too far.
Got you.
But this is what happened. The brother Greene, you know what I'm saying? I just remember seeing him crying in the mosque. It was during Friday. And I know Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it was on and popping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like there was alarms, you know what I mean? And then that was it. That's the war happened. A brother got cut, and then the Muslim brothers ran everybody in that jail out that was La Familia in 93. After that, I never heard about. They used to wear red and white beads.
Okay.
We went to war with the Knights too. We went to war with the Brooklyn Knights. You know what I'm saying? June. Everybody knows June is. June was Muslim. June said fuck being Muslim because he got, I don't know, something, I don't know. June stopped being Muslim and he was like with the Brooklyn Knights. So you know what I mean? Like it was a problem with them for a little while. But mainly, you wanna know who was really, really rocking shit back in 93? The Guards.
Okay.
And Greene, the Guards was strong. And they used to have ciphers. Like you used to go to the yard and you'll see like 6 of them right there, 6 over here, 6 over here, 6 over here. If you missed the cipher, they was giving niggas universals and all that. They was, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't know your if you ain't know your math or your sign, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know the alphabet, 1 through 16, 1 through 36, supreme, you know what I mean? Like if you didn't know that shit, then you could get in trouble. But you know what? It wasn't just because you didn't know it, you was gonna get beat up, right? If you was claiming that you knew the math and you didn't, that would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you.
You had knowledge. You say you had knowledge of self, and then a lot of dudes was like trying to act like they was 5% because they were scared of the Spanish dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was an easy way to get in, get your ass whooped because you don't know shit.
And let me ask you this before we close part 1. I gotta ask you this: out of all the facilities you've been to up north, and you've been on separate bids. Out of all the facilities you've been to up north, which one would you say was the worst one you've been to as far as violence with inmates?
You know what's so crazy? I know people hear about Attica, but Attica was like the best job I've been to. I loved Attica. I ain't gonna lie. When they took me out of Attica and brought me to a medium, when I went to a spot called Collins. This one Capone was there. Capone, rapper Capone.
Okay.
Capone was with me. That's my man. The worst jail as far as violence, the most cuttings I ever seen up north, or stabbings and everything, was a medium, Greene.
Greene. That's what I keep hearing about Greene.
I see more cuttings in Greene than the Cat and Attica together. And I've been to Cat.
Wow.
I've been to Greene. I've been to Auburn. I've been to Windy, Attica, Downstate, Cadre, Greenhaven, Washington, Comstock. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I've been at Sing Sing.
Okay, and you said when you first went up north, the first institution you went to was Greene, right?
When I was an adolescent, that was the first
right.
spot.
Okay, where'd you go after Greene as an adolescent?
What you talking about?
Like, so Greene, you stayed at Greene the whole time?
No. I went from Greene to Comstock to Washington.
Okay, and that's where we're gonna start part 2 at. I can't give it all in part 1. I got to do this part in 3 or 4 parts. We're gonna start part 2 after you left Greene. Then I want to get into the second interview. Gonna be more deeper. I just want to touch the surface on this one. The second interview, if you want to do it tomorrow or whatever you want to do it, but I have to break this one down. I can't give them all the jewels in one interview.
Bro, dude, I already know how the game go. You know what I'm saying?
You know how it go. And, but before we go though for this part 1, you got anything you want to say before we end this one?
Yeah, I wanted to say this, right? To all the brothers that's going to see this, right? That do the content, right? Like me, that do similar content. Tell y'all something, right? This is a perfect opportunity to get up out of whatever mind state you think, and this is the whatever mind state you are bringing to this. That's not. Let's put it this way, right? The shit we've been through, no matter what your story is, if you've been through something, you've been through jail, you've been through struggle in your life, and you have a platform where you can do anything that you want to do. Sometimes it's better to just take a break, fall back, you know what I'm saying? Calibrate your brain and find out how you want to attack this, because we do different sort of content. This is like real life shit. And as we can see, some of the things that be coming out of dude's mouth leads to real life situations where you back where you came from, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody getting hurt or somebody fighting or any of that. I'm just saying that God to give you an opportunity, and the same way he gave you the opportunity, he'll take that shit out of your hands. So use this opportunity and this time, right? Whether it's YouTube, your relationships, shit that you fucked up back in the days. I don't want nobody thinking that I'm up here, tell this is reality. It could get way worse. And I'm glad you're not, you know what I'm saying, that sort of person to try to bring that out, and you are genuinely interested. And that's why I fuck with your channel though, Easy, for real, bro.
Really appreciate that, bro. You just made my day again, like you did the other day, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate this interview. I'm a big fan. Before I had a YouTube page. Yes, I was tuned in all the time. I'm subscribed with my other YouTube thing, EasyWin1984 at Gmail. So I feel privileged, man, to be on this. For you to let me interview you is a privilege, man. And I would like to do part 2 tomorrow or whenever you are available again, because we got a lot more stuff to talk about. And I appreciate everything, bro. All the knowledge you tell me in the inbox, all the stuff you about to tell me when we done with this live. I want to learn all I can from you, bro.
I'm gonna put you on, bro. All right.
All right. Easy Win, Florida Prison Talk, Mac Mean. All stories ain't true, but this one is. We out of here.
One.